Hello, my beautiful friends. Tonight we're going to talk about whether artificial intelligence, AI, can help you with your spirituality. So, my day job, I'm an associate dean of online learning and educational technology, and I kind of dig technology. So, I'm into AI. I was into AI before this whole ChatGPT, hate that name, came out. I was into AI before, way back before, people started using MidJourney and Dolly. So, but what I'm going to talk about is whether it can help you with your spirituality. So, the truth is, only you can work on your spirituality. But any tool that you have that can help you can be a good tool. We have this notion that technology is good or bad. Technology in and of itself is neither good nor is it bad. Technology is technology. How we use it can determine whether it's useful or not. So I am going to pause. I'm going to bring up a split screen, and I'm going to show you how you might use tools like ChatGPT and MidJourney to aid in your spirituality. So let's get started. All right, so the very first tool that we're going to use is ChatGPT. And you can see it here on my screen. ChatGPT is free. You need to make an account. This will be the landing screen once you have an account. And you can type anything you want in this little box here. Now, in the education world, some people are panicking because students are writing their papers this way. But I can tell if a paper has been written with this kind of software because it really is robotic in the way that it delivers content. But let's say that you want to learn more about rune stones, right? So just like you would go onto Google and say, what are rune stones? And then like a bazillion things come up with a million ads, in first placement, because that's how Google works. And then you get a Wikipedia article with like way more information than you really want, right? ChatGPT does give you a pretty succinct explanation. So let's type it in. What are runestones? Now, you're going to find something out about runestones in just a minute, which makes this question interesting. So you'll see that it'll cook it up for you. So runestones are now. If you've followed the channel, Dr. Jackson Crawford talked about how ancient societies did not actually use runes for divination. So the research that the AI pulls isn't necessarily what the research is. So you want to be careful about that. But they were used as a modern alphabet and symbols, the use of runestones for divination called rune casting involved casting the stones and interpreting the symbols, right? So, so that gives you like a general idea of what runestones are. But let's ask it about Odin. What is the relationship between Odin and rune stones? So then it talks about Norse mythology and how Odin hung himself from the world tree and for 9 days and nights in order to gather the knowledge of the runes, right? So you can find out a lot about different topics that interest you using ChatGPT in ways that I think, like when you do a Google search, so much comes up, and the first 30 things are ads, because remember that Google is an advertisement company. So this kind of makes things succinct. So let's say you want to know, today's rune was Lagus. So let's say you wanted to know about the Lagus stone. What does the rune Lagus mean? And it'll tell you what, first it tells you that it's from the Elder Futhark, because there are different runic alphabets. And it talks about water and fluidity, which is what we talked about today. And it can tell you, what it has found out there about Lagus. And so we'll let it cook there. So in a sense, you can really use ChatGPT to get more information about a topic. Let's say, what if I get Lagus, the rune, in reverse? What does that mean? So, and it talks about what runes mean when they're reversed. So, and this is in real time. So this is happening. This is typing as we're going. So you really can get some cursory knowledge about different topics, but you want to be careful because, like I said, in the very first post, it talked about how, runes were used in divination in ancient societies, and I think modern scholars would argue that that's not actually true. That's more fiction based on modern media. So, so it can be a pretty good tool. Now, let's say you want to ask it, how should I feel? How should I feel about having Lagos pulled for a runestone reading? And I intentionally spelled things wrong. So AI will tell you if it's a feeling question or something like that. ChatGPT will often say, like, look, I'm a bot. I don't have feelings, but here's how you might feel. Whatever. So like I think it's really, ChatGPT can be very transformative in helping you think about an issue, especially if you're stuck on a card. So like if you ask about tarot, I don't read tarot, so I don't know what different cards mean. So like what's one of them? What does the tower represent in a tarot card deck? Like I have no idea. So it'll give you explanations of the tarot card, and who knows where they pull this information from. But this is a lot easier to read than, let's say, Wikipedia, because Wikipedia is a very complete, community-driven collection of materials about a topic, and it can be too much. Where this kind of makes everything concise and a little bit easier to understand. Now, what about world religions? Well, it also addresses world religion, so we're going to let it stop cooking on this topic and say, in each of the world's major religions, what is a prayer for peace? So Christianity, and then it lists the actual prayer. In Islam, and it has the words of the prayer. In Judaism, in Hinduism, Buddhism, and so it identifies these as the top 5 world religions. And you can ask it more, do Wiccans have a prayer for peace? But you can see there's no set Wiccan prayer for peace, whereas, some of the others might have it. So you could ask, so you can really sort of dig into things that interest you that concern your spirituality. And then you can take what you read here and you can copy and paste it into a digital journal. You can take notes into your regular journal. You can copy the prayers down. Actually, I actually may do that. I might copy down the 5 world religion prayers for peace, because I think it's important to know. So you can see that it is really kind of helpful if you want to get some information about a topic. So now let's go and look over at MidJourney to see what that's about. So this is written form. We're going to look at art next. All right, so now we're in a program called MidJourney, and it runs off of a Discord platform. So the way that you use this is that the images that you see in front of me are generated by users. So we're going to put in, a sample, right? So it's a free account that you make. You go down here to the plus sign, you do use apps, and then you find an image, and it asks you for a prompt. And just like in ChatGPT, you want to be very specific about what you're looking for, because it can only go off of whatever you input. So let's say we're looking for Odin hanging from the world tree, learning runes. And we're going to see what it comes up with. And as we're waiting, you can see other people's images are coming up. Now, there's all kinds of debates, legal debates, philosophical debates about where they get this artwork, where they're getting the trained images from, whether this is derivation or not. But if you want to picture something, if you're much more visual of a person and you want to picture something that then you can print and then cut out and put in your journal, or save and put in a digital journal, this is a really great way to visualize things. And you can see that people keep honing in on their stuff. So here are mine. I'm going to just pop it out, and I have these 4 choices if they are going to render. Let's see. No, that's not mine. Where did mine go? Thing is, it does go really fast, so you have to be careful. So here are the ones that came up for me. So there's 2 ways you can do it. You can take a screenshot, which is what I often do, and then I cut them up later. If I want to, like, I'll do that. Or, so these are pretty nice. As you know, from before, Odin is upside down in the world tree, getting the knowledge of the runes. But these are interesting. Now I can further develop them by I can modify a version. I can modify a version, or I can upscale a version. Sorry. So I can do that, and I'll do that for the first one, just so that you can see sort of the difference between the U1 and the V1. And it takes some time to cook. Now I think you get a certain amount of free searches under the free membership, and then there's a cost involved. I actually have the paid account because I do use this for work. But sometimes I like to just sit here, like during my lunch while I'm eating, and watch what other people are bringing up. Like, that's a beautiful image right there. Like, and, some of them are stupid, but like, that's a beautiful image there. That's a beautiful one. And all of these are under Creative Commons, so any picture that somebody else makes that you like, you can right-click on it and keep it if you want to. Like, if you'd want to keep this one, you could keep it, save the image, and then, sample image, and you could save it if you wanted to. So we're looking for Odin. And it does take a minute for these things to cook, because there's a lot of other people in line with you. So here are the ones when I asked for variations. So it gave me variations on that one picture. So I would pick through these. I kind of like this one. One thing I will say, it's about ChatGPT. It doesn't do well with teeth. It doesn't do well with hands. That's not a problem in any of these, because teeth and hands aren't a part of it. But I kind of like this one. I think this one is probably the coolest one. So, I would, again, snap a picture to save for later, or I would cut it up and edit it. And you can see in the other one, where is it? Or I asked it just to look at one. So when I asked it to upscale the U selection, it just picks one. And then it has one that it updated. So, you can play with this for hours. You can go down a rabbit hole. But you can print these out. You can save them. You can print them out. If you have a color printer at home, if you have a digital journal, you can add the artwork to the journal. The possibilities are endless. And it can be a little bit of art therapy. But I'm not very artistic, so it's sometimes fun to create some of these because I would never be able to create them in real life. But I'm also very aware of the ethical and legal implications of this kind of technology. Um, I'll be interested to see how those court cases go. So these are two tools that you can use if you're interested in using AI to enhance your spirituality. But at the root, your spirituality is between you and God, or your higher source, your higher self, whatever. Spirituality comes from within, and while any tool, whether it's runestones or um, cards, tarot, or oracle, they're or AI, they're all tools to help you grow stronger in your faith and in your spirituality. They aren't meant to be replacements for that connection with spirit. So definitely use tools that help you explore and embrace your spirituality, but don't let it take over. I am wishing all of you all the very best in light and love, and I will see you tomorrow morning for a rune pool. Be well. Bye-bye.